What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the podcast. Not midway through. We're near the end of the Mavericks Clippers, and we did it. I decided to do it early because I don't know, man. It's 120, 107 watching it right now. And
absolutely.
It's 109, 120 now, but it's not. We're not going to call no play-by-play, but I don't know. Just watching it throughout the game, it's kind of been annoying to watch second half. Like first half was definitely a lot more fun to watch.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess we'll kind of keep diving into it as we go on and like talk about the series of where both teams will go from here afterwards. But we can at least talk about Philadelphia and Atlanta right now, though. So Jenny, I know you and me were talking about how like when it came to the Knicks and the Hawks, neither team really had no business going to the second round. I remember I was saying that, but
I believe the Hawks.
No, I'm like
definitely.
It's kind of like, all right, they're doing their damnedest to try to shut everybody up, being like, hey, like because I can't disregard the fact that they did make some really good pickups in the offseason and whatnot. And I feel like it would put Trae Young on a maybe even more to superstar status, but I don't think he's there yet. I mean, the team he's on, damn it, he's their superstar, so you can say that much at least. But yeah, they got a lot of complementary pieces with Gallinari and whatnot. But I don't know, man. Ben Simmons,
Gallo's haircut is just something else.
I was over here thinking that Embiid was not going to play because of whatever injury he was.
What was it? A hamstring?
I don't know. Something I believe with his leg, but
he's injury prone, like seriously.
No, but I'm saying is that the fact that they beat Embiid and while Embiid was playing, I wouldn't even say that says a lot because the Hawks could have easily lost that game, like down the stretch anyway. So I don't think there's any reason to turn on the hit the panic button yet or anything like that.
It's just one game.
It is just one game. Besides, they'll bounce back, but a team that's not going to bounce back is the Mavericks here. Like this, low key. It's pretty sad. There's still a minute 06 left.
No,
they're down by 11.
Not scoring 11.
If they get it quick and whatnot, they could probably make something happen. But I mean, they have to make sure they ain't taking none of them goofy ass shots like they were. And that's the kind of basketball I know I was talking about it earlier. I don't like. That's the one problem when it comes to watching games is in this day and age is seeing teams just continuously throw up 3-point shots when they're not going in. So the whole saying of live by the three and you die by the three, that they hold true. The thing is, it reminds me of the Celtics from 2019 when it came to those teams, and even going up against the Bucks. Like, yeah, you're losing to that team, but you're just sitting there just taking just threes on threes on threes.
At that.
Yeah, it just sucks seeing stuff like that. Like you see that stuff going on in the regular season, it's like, all right, hey, like the game's kind of over and done with. But then you got in the playoffs, you just want to continuously keep trying to shoot up threes and jack up threes.
Yeah, the Clippers score again, this game's over.
Nah, they go on even a little mini run and it's wraps. But yeah, I mean, I was over here thinking that it was whoever won the 4 and 5 matchup faced the first seed in the second round.
That's what I thought it was too.
I thought it was like that, so I was over here thinking the winner of Atlanta and New York would face Brooklyn, but I guess that's not the case. So, shoot, I know people were talking about, like, I don't know about y'all, I want to see Atlanta versus Phoenix in the finals and whatnot, being like
that's
they're playing some entertaining.
Ugly finals.
I wouldn't even say it's ugly, but I mean people would probably like that, but I wouldn't. I don't see that happen. No. It's called they're playing fun basketball is what it's saying. It's like the two more. Oh wait, it looks like a backcourt. Yeah, see, if they get a little bit of luck, then they'll probably get it. But yeah, let's see. So yeah, Atlanta they'll be fine.
How'd they get the ball back?
I don't think they did a challenge. I think that was what was going on. Uh-oh. All right, well, now they're doing fouls or whatnot. The fact that it's not a back... Maybe they used their challenge already or whatnot. Or maybe it was too late.
I don't know.
But yeah, going on with... all right, let's just say this. Let's just play on the fact that let's say Mavericks lose. Where do they go from here? Because Porzingis played like ass. And it's not even playing like ass, but like the dude...
I need to see how many rebounds he had. It didn't look like he was grabbing.
The fact that Boban wasn't even outplaying him, but he was playing so much better than him. So
he was playing more like a center.
It was more like a Kemba. It's like a Kemba Walker situation with Porzingis, but obviously Porzingis has a whole lot more
expectations. At least.
Yeah, he has higher expectations because he's not the third best player on the team now. From the looks of it, he's the number 2 option, and that's an issue if this dude's not hitting threes and doing what he needs to be doing. Because remember people how last year people were saying if Porzingis didn't get hurt, they would have won. Yeah. But now Porzingis is playing the whole time. Like he played every series, well, every game. I mean, I believe so anyway. But and another thing is like it's just they played a whole lot better defense on them. But yeah, Mavericks would probably look to retool because if anything, I would be more expecting of Porzingis has to get traded in this offseason if they're looking to move him. But again,
so he had 11 rebounds.
No, but how many points he scoring? And what was his efficiency?
16, 6 for 12. So that's not horrible.
But it's not, but you expect him to be up there with Luka.
But the last few games, 7 points, 8 points, like that's.
Luka had 29 points at the half.
Yeah.
Look, I don't even put what's going on right now on Luka because, yeah, he took some suspect ass shots, but then you got these guys like Trey Burke and Porzingis and these other guys not doing what they needed to be doing. So, and then they just allowed the Clippers to go on a 24-4 run. So
there was no defense being played.
It really got annoying. It kind of seems like they kind of gave up.
Paul George didn't shoot that well.
Wait, what do you got? What are you seeing there?
5 for 15.
No, how many points he scored?
Yeah, 16.
Yeah, come on. I mean, it's the
first round. I think it was 19.
But I mean, just again, we're just playing on the fact that Clippers probably have this in the bag. So let's just even talk about the matchup against Utah. It's funny. Ain't nobody give a damn about that first round series between the Grizzlies and Utah.
Wait, who won? Utah?
Yeah, they won in 5.
Okay. I was like, that's kind of disrespectful.
I know we're kind of strangling along when it comes to the Clippers and whatnot, but we're like, it's down to the last minute. But I mean,
yeah, it's over with.
But yeah, so quite honestly, just off rip, do you say again, the game isn't over yet, 40 seconds left, whatever.
No, it's over.
But Clippers versus Utah, who do you got?
I have Utah in 6.
Yeah, Utah in 6. I don't know. I feel like I said because I did have the Clippers winning. I said for the Clippers' sake, they better win the game or win this series. So
wait, today or tomorrow?
What are you talking about?
The next series.
No, I said even the opening round when we talked about it. I said I had Clippers just for the Clippers' sake to make it out of. So I feel it will probably be a competitive series. I'm going to say it again. For the Clippers' sake, the Clippers better win this series. They better because
if they would have gotten bounced, I really wanted to see what would happen.
I wanted to see what would happen because I believe, I don't know if things would change even if they don't even make it. If they don't make it to the conference finals again, maybe if they lose decisively and whatnot, that's what I'm saying.
Feel like depending on if they lose or they don't get to the conference finals. They lose in the second round, then I don't feel like they'll trade Kawhi or Paul George.
No. Kawhi's a free agent, so there's no trading Kawhi. It'll be Kawhi leaving and whatnot. But my thing is with the Clippers is that you gotta at least get it to make it to the conference finals.
With a team like that,
you don't have to worry the Lakers. You don't have to worry about the Lakers anymore. Like the whole idea of them them throwing games so they would avoid the Lakers is like, come on. Really? The whole battle, quite honestly, that whole Battle of LA thing is kind of dead now. At least to me, I don't think we'll ever, I wouldn't even say we'll ever get how it go. We'll get that kind of oh man, it's the Clippers out there, not the peak of their powers, but really good Clippers team, really good Lakers team. I feel the best shot we had of that was last year, but then you saw how things played out.
Murray.
Yeah, Jamal Murray, but even the whole bubble and everything else that happened in between
I really wanted, like I said before I made all my predictions, I was completely prepared for all my predictions to be wrong.
No, I mean that's usually how it goes. It's a long postseason, so
I got the Suns one right, but I don't think I got the amount of games right.
I mean, we can always look back afterwards and check.
Yeah.
And I know Blazers bounced it out. I don't know. I believe I said Nuggets. I don't know. I don't remember what my prediction was.
I said Blazers.
I think I said Nuggets because
we had an argument about I said you said who's guarding Jokic? I was like
Nurkic. I'm like
I didn't say that
no, I know.
I thought you were being literal, like who's guarding him.
No. No, that's not. I mean, I was never really literal because I'm not trying to bash Nurkic, but like you're going up against the MVP and the best big man in the league. That was like having in the finals like a Kenyon Martin or whoever on Shaquille O'Neal. It's like
Kenyon Martin.
No, but whoever was guarding Shaq in those finals or whatever, that's what I'm talking about. Or old ass Mutombo trying to go up against
that
the
white
Shaq.
dude who got dunked
Keith Van Horn or what, the guy in the Knicks?
Yeah,
I don't remember his name, but speaking of the Blazers, we got to talk about Dame. Dame, he posted a quote about from Nipsey Hussle. He said, and this was after they lost. It was, "How long should I stay dedicated? How long until opportunity meets preparation?" So that kind of means to me, I mean, I guess everybody would assume the same thing. It's like, how long can I really stay loyal to this franchise and whatnot? It's not saying it in a bad way, but it's like, hey, I've been here for my entire career and whatnot. Your head coach is gone, and
Terry Stotts is a horrible coach.
Your second, no, he's not no horrible coach. He brought that team to the playoffs every season he was there. He was there for, I believe, 8 years, and he brought him all the way to conference.
Really bringing depending on your personnel, that's easy.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
You have Damian Lillard, C.J. McCollum.
You lost LaMarcus Aldridge, and people were already counting you guys out. You made it to the playoffs. Like making it into the playoffs is hard.
Yeah, but getting bounced out in the first and second round, that's like...
No, and he brought him to the conference. We're not going to sit here and just go back and forth how what kind of coach Terry Stotts was. He was a good head coach. And it's like,
it really, like, I see what you mean, though. Like,
he brought his team to the playoffs.
I rescind my statement saying he's a horrible coach. He
brought his team to the playoffs.
Every coach could have been better.
And quite honestly, it's like, you say with good personnel and whatnot. It's more, when you say personnel, do you mean the players or good coaching staff and whatnot?
Everything. I mean, if you have...
No, because you can have terrible coaching and have good players and you can make a playoff run. But we can't just sit here making it seem like, oh, man, the playoffs are easy. Like, yeah, there's 16 spots in the playoffs. And there's usually the really bad teams, the teams that are fighting for those last few spots in the playoffs. And then you got those teams that are obviously going to make the playoffs, no matter how their season really goes because of the players they have. I understand that. Those guys can make the playoffs. But making it to the Western Conference Finals, I believe he brought that team to the Western Conference Finals twice. I believe in my understanding. They brought him to the second round and whatnot. But saying with Dame, he lost the only head coach he ever knew in the NBA.
Which is like, that's going to be it.
And he said he wanted Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd didn't want to take the Blazers job, he said. So, long story short, he said he didn't want to take that job. And then you got the Celtics opening up a head coaching spot because Danny Ainge is gone. And I know that happened throughout the week, so we weren't even able to really talk about that, but we'll talk about the Celtics later on. But yeah, with Dame, I guess they haven't really said anything about trades yet, but it kind of seems like it's a little bit more likely. It's really one of two scenarios that go on. It's either you trade Dame or you trade a package of certain players to get guys to go play with Dame. So I guess I can see either one going down. Like,
I don't see the Blazers making any sort of move that would make them a finals contender. No,
unless I did hear about like a Karl Anthony Towns trade, like with CJ and whoever else and this, that, and the other. I don't know. It would be something with CJ and other things and plenty of picks and whatnot. You got to really think about it. There's plenty of stars that could be on the move. Like they say, like, oh man, the offseason, we've been spoiled these last couple of offseasons. No, because there's still players that are going to be in the free agent market. You're gonna have disgruntled stars here, there, and everywhere. And then I know New York was looking to push for a Damian Lillard trade, and I know other franchises. I know a bunch of like Boston fans are super optimistic about it.
I don't think so.
But again, we'll talk about that in a little bit when we bring up the Celtics and whatnot. But yeah, Dame. I mean, we can't discredit the fact that he's been loyal to that franchise and he's been that kind of dude who's like, I don't want to go and play with other stars, and like, I want to do my runtime here, and that's what he said. But hey, things can change. Things can always change. I don't know if he were to be on the trading block where he would go. There's plenty of destinations. He could go LA, you can go to New York, all those places. But I don't know. It just seems super weird. And again, it's in a team like LA, how the hell are you gonna get him to LA? Who are you gonna trade? Can't trade AD.
LA fans are just
but there's plenty of people like, and again, same thing with Boston. Who are you gonna trade? Jalen?
Yeah.
No.
I'm not trading Jalen or Jason.
Like that's the problem. And I've seen like the mock trades that people have made for any of those teams. It's like it's a big market team would get him if he's on the trading block.
Hold on.
Yeah, but like I said, a big market team would be the only team that would be able to get him, because I believe he wouldn't go to any other team. So
I
you got that.
I don't think that they actually have to take into account that Dame's getting older. Like,
no, Dame's gonna be 31 in either this month or next month. But quite honestly, he's gonna
age.
No, the way his game is, he can probably play at a really high level into his mid to late 30s.
He relies on his athleticism a lot too.
No, but the fact that the dude has a jumper, if he can create his own shot, he really don't.
That you don't lose.
The way that modern medicine and workout regimens are now, dudes can play into the mid to late 30s. It's still at a pretty high level. Like Kevin Durant, he's gonna, even with that Achilles tear, he's gonna play.
Just the way he plays,
he's gonna be an absolute bucket. Harden, those guys, even though all three of those guys on the Brooklyn Nets team, you got Curry. Curry's gonna be fine. Clay's gonna come back and probably not play his ass off, because we're obviously gonna see that happen. But I'm like I said, those guys are gonna come into the league, not come into the league, but go into the league in their 30s, mid to late 30s and whatnot. And they'll be doing their thing. So you got that. LeBron, I don't know, with the way the Lakers got bounced out. He's now here's something that LeBron fans can't say when it comes to, he's the GOAT. He never lost in the first round. That's no longer the case anymore. So I don't know where the Lakers go. I don't think Damian Lillard would. I wouldn't even say would go to the Lakers, but Lakers would have to pull something to be able to get something like that to happen. But yeah, I want Dame. It would be very interesting to see what they do. But I think they will go with option B, trade everybody else before you trade Dame. But again, you can't really go half-assed with one. And whatnot, unless you really just try to blow it up and pull a Houston Rockets, maybe the right way. But yeah, Dame, it's something to keep our eyes on. But,
I can't believe they traded James for. Who'd they trade him for, basically?
Wait, James
Harden.
James Harden, I don't know. Like, they pretty much got a decent amount of draft picks, 20 games of Victor Oladipo, John Wall, not John Wall, no, never mind. But I would need to pull up everything.
But I know they definitely didn't get what they should have.
No, they should have gotten all that and then some.
And they sent them to the Nets of all places.
No, because that's really the only team you want. And keep in mind, Miami could have made a deal, but they wanted to hang on to Tyler Hero.
You can't blame them.
No, I understand that, but it's like, it's James Harden. You got a proven commodity, but yeah, he's an up-and-coming star. But do we, right now, do we look at Tyler Hero as the next face of that franchise?
No.
Again, and keep in mind, a former MVP who's still in his prime technically, because he's in his 30s.
Yeah, just imagine that team though.
Like,
they would Goran.
No, not even point guard Goran. You have, if anything, you probably have Harden running the one, because Harden.
That is true.
Harden's a hybrid. You can play both, and he's a guard.
Yeah. He could easily go for 36 and 15.
Yep. Damn. What? Yeah, the Clippers won. Now it's set in stone. They beat Dallas by 15. But yeah, going back to Harden, or going back to just that whole trade in general, yeah, like, come on. At least it's so easy for me to say it. Again, we're not in charge of these organizations or making those types of decisions. But still, I mean, they caught a whole lot of flack because you guys got swept in the first round, and Tyler Hero didn't really play all that good. And just imagine Miami with that team. Yeah.
That's a monster.
And Oladipo, he was hurt, and people were like, "Oh, if Oladipo was helped, that wouldn't have made a difference." And again, we already talked about that. Yeah. But with Harden, imagine this: if you traded Hero and this down the other, because Duncan Robinson was going to be a free agent, so he would have been expiring. You could have threw him in there.
Yeah.
I would like to see Duncan Robinson in Boston, but that would be a talk for a little bit. But imagine you had Harden at the 1, you had Depot at the 2, and then you had Jimmy at the 3, or a culmination of those 3 guys in those 3 positions. And then you have Bam at the 5, and I don't know who they would have at the 4, Iguodala or whatever.
I feel like they would have kept Kelly Olynyk.
Oh well, no. They would send Kelly over in the trade.
That's true. I don't know.
Well, in the trade for Oladipo, so
yeah. So it would probably be Precious.
Oh yeah, that guy. I don't know how to say his last name.
Achua.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got that. But yeah. So and I know we kind of got sidetracked bringing up Harden and whatnot, but yeah, it's like
I'm a fan of James Harden. Not to like about James Harden.
No, but like I said, it's when it comes to Miami was kind of I think it was questionable not trying to pull the trigger on a trade, but yeah, I would say keep an eye out for this offseason. Will be I wouldn't even say a whole lot of trades come, but a whole lot of things to keep an eye on. Like the NBA season really isn't ever over.
Yeah.
Because you got the regular season, you start the regular season, you go through the playoffs and whatnot. You got the trade deadline, all that stuff.
Yeah, NBA Twitter.
Well, I mean, yeah, and then you got the postseason. When time was normal, the NBA finals would be done first, second week of June, and we're just getting started with the second round. So you get all that stuff done. And mind you, we played 10 less games this year because of everything going on with vaccinations, the virus, all that stuff. And so after that, a few weeks of downtime and whatnot. But again, you have all the trade rumors and whatnot with the draft and all that stuff. I don't know what their offseason schedule is going to be for the draft, but we got that, and then you got free agency, and free agency, that's where a whole lot of the big moves go on, and then all this player signs here, signing trades and whatnot. Then you got all that stuff, and then you got the summer league and everything else that goes on, and then you're right back into the training camp, and the regular season starts back up. So I probably did miss some key elements about that, but yeah, the NBA season really isn't ever over because of how popular it is and how things really go. So there's really no downtime in the NBA. I guess between free agency until like through the summer league, so you got that stuff to worry about. But that's just how I wouldn't say that's just how it is, but it's always you have to keep remain diligent about what goes on. But Clippers make it to the second round, so yeah, with that we did talk about that. I guess it's a good time as any just to bring up the Celtics and how things are going on because we already got bounced out.
I would say expected. We went up against the Nets.
I don't think we did talk about it. I don't know. Maybe we did talk about it a bit last week. We
definitely didn't talk about Jason Tatum dropping 50 on Kevin Durant.
But I know KD went on a podcast. I don't remember the exact podcast saying that it's gonna suck being in the same conference as JT. And keep in mind, it's all this attention's on Jason Tatum. And yeah, we know he's the face of that franchise, but now I gotta see Jaylen Brown just be on the come up once again, prove everyone like, hey, I'm still here, and I'm still with this squad, and we're gonna come and take over the league. And I know we talked about get Kemba out of here.
I'm half opposed to that. Yes, sure, we giving Kemba a chance, well enough. We gave him a chance.
I mean, we still have him signed for 2 more years. I don't know if there's a player option or anything else in his contract or anything like that.
I feel like Kemba, we're not going to give him up for someone who's lesser.
All right, so this is what I was saying, because when people are being optimistic about the whole Dame thing, going back to that, the people were thinking getting Dame to Boston. I know with the Celtics they have a couple more things to worry about than trying to acquire Damian Lillard. Yeah. Again, Damian Lillard, one of the best players in the NBA and one of the top point guards at his position. Well, top point guards in the league, I should say. Yeah. But they were saying trade Kemba, Langford, and a combination of picks and other young guys or whatever.
I really don't think they would take that.
If you're Portland and you're trying to rebuild, you're not taking that unless you have a whole unless you give them the only way I can see is if you give them their draft picks for the next X amount of drafts.
Because Romeo Langford has done nothing to warrant.
No, but he's a young up and coming player. Yeah, but and I'm not saying we can pull it off. I don't think that would happen. If it happens, shoot, prove me wrong then. Yeah. But there's plenty of teams that can make better offers.
If anything, I feel like, just to be quick, the offer to go with would be they would probably want Aaron, dang, I forgot his name, Peyton Pritchard. They would probably want our rookies, so we would have to throw him in and then some picks. So that's probably what they would want.
Jaylen Brown, that's who they would want.
I mean, obviously, as soon
as we
call up, they're gonna say JT and JB.
No. They want to, because again, you can't be going making demands like that. Cause I'm not trading Jason Tatum. Tatum's off the table. He's one of those guys that are just you're not.
I feel like Jaylen Brown.
You're looking to build around him and potentially Jaylen Brown. And the fact that because here's the thing, because all this talk about Jaylen Brown could be on the move, or not could be on the move, but he's the best trade chip you have. But again, you want to look to build around those two, not look to split those guys up. Mm-hmm. You can, that's what I'm saying. Because if you decide to trade Jaylen Brown, you're pretty much, again, because those guys are the results from the Brooklyn picks from those trades ago, and then you look to trade. The only time I feel you should be inclined to do something like that is if you don't think they're going to come back in free agency. And you have Jaylen signed for another 3 seasons, I believe, because he signed that max not this past offseason, but offseason before that. So I think he's a year in. I think Tatum's rookie scale max or whatever is kicking in next season. So those guys need to get paid. I know Marcus Smart has a contract coming up soon. And, yeah, there's things that you need to talk about. Yeah, we got young guys that we – like Robert Williams, again, like with these young guys, it's like – and Kemba would have to be a part of the trade. Yeah, and any Damian Lillard trade, whether they like it or not, because that's the only way you can make salaries match. Yeah. So you would have to do that. So Kemba would just be going over just for make money work, and then everything else is not complimentary. But there's gonna have to be a guy who's a centerpiece and all that. Because again, we might get Damian Lillard, and then I'll probably be the only thing we would get. Would I like to see Damian Lillard in the Celtics jersey? Absolutely.
Who wouldn't want to see Damian Lillard?
I would love to see that.
That's the thing. I can't really see Dame in any other jersey besides the Portland jersey.
We say that until we see him in a different jersey. That's all. Like
we're going to the championship.
Boston is like contending if they didn't get hurt. Like Boston is a contending team, and yeah, Damian Lillard. Would Damian Lillard put us over the top? Absolutely. It would be make it to the NBA Finals or bust. Yeah. So, but. Just thinking about the prospect that we would have to move Jalen, I wouldn't want to do that. I don't want to move because Jalen's one. It was the same thing with James Harden. Like, we would want Jalen Brown. That's why I hang up the phone. Yeah. Because again, these guys are great. Don't get me wrong. It's not the fact that they're bad players or it's not worth it. It's not worth it to potentially get a player like that. But the thing that always got me nervous is when Danny Ainge was in charge of things. It would always seem like he was always okay with the prospect of trading Jalen.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No, because, quite honestly, the way he went about things is that he would rather get proven guys that can help make you a championship team right now. Like he said years ago when Kyrie was going to Brooklyn. He was saying the thought was to try to get Kyrie and build around and get guys to play with Kyrie and come and have Kyrie lead and bring us to the promised land and whatnot. What did that leave for other players? Because he did say a lot of suspect.
He shouldn't have said that.
There were certain things on his way. I feel he kind of knew he was eventually on his way out.
I'm glad he's gone. I'm not.
I like Danny Ainge while he was here, but I'm more excited to see what Brad Stevens is going to do in his new role. And am I going to miss having Brad Stevens as a coach? Yeah.
That's definitely going to be weird.
But understanding his reasoning about why he doesn't want to coach anymore, I understand that because he said he's drained. It's like, all right, what the hell can we say about that?
Yeah. I mean, he's been coaching us for what?
No, but it's not even the fact of how long he's been coaching us, but he said the bubble really took a lot out of him and pretty much made him not want to coach anymore.
Yeah, because...
Maybe that was a reason that... that we were things would be questionable on the court and whatnot, and nobody knew that he was drained from the bubble. I don't think Brad Stevens was really.
I could only imagine what that does to a coach, let alone a player.
No, but then you see all these things is a good head coach, bad head coach. That gets to you mentally when you see stuff like that, because we know people see what people say, media says about him and whatnot. So.
And the type of logic I put on Terry Stotts is probably the same thing you could say about Brad Stevens. So you
can say that about a lot of head coaches. When a team has a bad year, it's like, it's not the coach's fault. The coach puts the players in the best position to do great, but at the end of the day, it's those guys who have to make the plays and those guys who have to make those shots. I always say that. So that's why I say you never should crap on a head coach because of how their team's doing, but then praise the players when the team is performing well. Yeah. Because like I said, coach puts them in the best position to be successful. If the coach is doing a bad job, then the team could easily the coach don't make the team and the players don't make the coach either. Everybody gotta carry their own weight. I know people probably argue Steve Kerr with Golden State and whatnot. I mean, Steve Kerr is a good head coach. He's not.
You can have a good person. In his case, he's a good coach that had an excellent team.
Yeah, it's the players can elevate how people view a coach. When Luke Walton was in Golden State, you had. Was KD already on that team?
No, I don't think so.
It was the 2016 team. So Luke Walton. Then he got that coaching job in Sacramento
and did nothing with it.
I don't even say did nothing with it, but he did below expectation. Yeah, but so it's really hard to try to balance. They have Hall of Fame worthy coaches like the Phil Jacksons of the world and whatnot, the Red Auerbachs and those guys, and then there's players that had head coaches. Again, I feel I shouldn't. When I said players don't make the coach, players can elevate a coach, just like a coach can elevate the players. So again, it has to be a good blend. You know, so
it can't be too much of one side. Like, it can't be
the
players.
Like, there has to be a good level of coaching. So, like, guys like Steve Nash, those guys, like, I feel when Rondo retires, he would be a great head coach. I feel when Draymond Green retires, if he wants to be a head coach. Like, and it's funny to think about because, like, those guys could probably really be, like, Chris Paul. I feel Chris Paul, he wouldn't. Like, we may think that would be cool, but I think Chris Paul would be like, yeah, I'm done with all this basketball.
I feel like as soon as he's done with basketball, he's just done with basketball. And I think with Kawhi.
I know that was something we needed to talk about because it's funny that you bring that up, that Chris Paul is going to potentially decline his player option to look to get 3 years, $100 million from someone. I don't know.
Yeah, that's shaky. Paul George. Chris Paul has proven that, like, regardless of how old he is, he can still.
But the problem is, when injuries.
Yeah, if he gets injured, it could potentially mean the end of his career.
Not even the end of his career, but the fact that it's kind of been following him everywhere he's gone. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, he had that slight shoulder thing with the Lakers series and whatnot, but if he can show that he can still be durable, like, he's only getting older. I get that. I think he's 35. I think he's a year younger than LeBron or something at this point. 2 years, let's say that.
That's weird to think about.
Yeah, it's like Chris Paul. Again, Chris Paul don't rely on athleticism, but the fact that if he gets hurt, like, you know, I don't know how I'd feel because that was another prospect. It's like a sign and trade for, like, send Kemba to Phoenix and then bring in Chris Paul. Like, yeah, I don't think Chris Paul will fall off a cliff. I don't think that's because dude is all-time point guard status and whatnot. So. And again,
he's probably one of the best pure point guards in NBA history.
Yeah, he's definitely up there when it comes to all time.
He's up there with point guards. Steve Nash, in my opinion.
I mean, you can even make an argument, but with Steve Nash should have been. I won't even say should have been a whole lot better. He would have been a whole lot better if he played in a different style of NBA.
Yeah, if he was in this NBA. Ooh.
Chris Paul would have. Not Chris Paul. Steve Nash would be that dude. He would be not even.
I feel like he would have definitely been up in scoring.
And even Steve Nash said he would be. I would probably average like 25 points a game or something.
Yeah, because that was back when, like, I mean, when he played, the volume 3-point shooting wasn't huge. Like,
they were looking. He was looking to hook up his teammates and this, that, and the other. But watching Steve Nash play, even in highlights now, it's fun to watch. Mm-hmm. And you got guys like Trae Young and John Morant now, like these hybrids. Like, it's crazy. It really is. The league is in good hands, and just to say that much. And we got the second round. We got these young guys leading their teams, and you still got the dudes who were those young guys in 2010s and whatnot going up. So you still got KD still kicking. You got LeBron, but even though they're out of the playoffs, Chris Paul. You got who else? Some vets.
Kyrie. I'm not gonna say that. I mean,
but I'm trying to think of other players on different teams. Yeah, PG. Well, I mean, yeah. I guess you can say PG, even though I wouldn't say came to the party late, but PG, Kawhi, those guys, like those guys, the young guys of 2010s are carrying the league now, while the guys there's still some players in the 2000s.
And keep in mind, there's definitely some players we don't know about or that aren't talked about as much that could be carrying the league.
And that's funny to think about too, because there's gonna be some other just underdog stories or just players that are bad. Think about it right now. There's probably a player that in the playoffs or even in the league right now it's terrible, or just a below average player, and is about to set the league on fire in a few years, like how it was with Oladipo. Mm-hmm. You just find the right situation.
No, Oladipo was good for.
No, he was no. He was good. People understood he was good in Orlando. He was
okay. See, they just made his role look bad.
And then he got
he got opportunities.
He gets traded, and then so you got that going on. So I don't know. It's fun. It's fun to think. It's fun to see when players that weren't really super up there, they kind of find their groove, and then they become one of the top players in the league.
That was Sabonis.
Yeah, Sabonis is really good.
He went from below average in OKC to.
Yeah, and then he gets traded to Indiana. There's some players that thrive in small market teams. Mm-hmm. And when it comes, just bringing up the Celtics one more time, I did see posts about point guard additions that they could potentially acquire. It could be they could make a trade for Lonzo. They could make a trade for Rubio and those potentially those kinds of guys. And Dame was on that list, but it's like you want to keep it somewhat realistic. Yeah. Again, I don't find that realistic to acquire Damian Lillard without giving up something substantial. And even you could probably change the offer as many times as you want, but if Jaylen Brown isn't a part of it, I think Blazers just hang up the phone. Yeah. That's just me. I don't know how their organization is run, so who knows? And for all we know, Dame's still on the team this time next year. So.
Yeah, you definitely will, in my opinion.
But yeah, speaking of the young guys, just to kind of tie everything together, I know I wanted to bring up the young guys, MLB. So, Tatis, Ronald Acuna Jr., Vladimir Guerrero. Keep in mind, all three of these guys are
I don't know anything
junior.
About this.
But but just listen to this. I believe all 5 of the 5 home run leaders in the league. So these guys are leading the league in home runs.
What are they, juniors?
No, not juniors. I think a good half of them though, because Vladdy, Ronald Acuna, and Tatis. The top 5 in those categories have not been in the league longer than 3 years.
That's sick.
Just imagine, so yeah, the young guys are carrying the load. So just even put it in NBA terms, imagine, let's say, imagine LaMelo. Luka's been in the league. This would be his 3rd year.
Yeah.
Say LaMelo, guys like LaMelo, Luka, those guys who've been in the league 2 to 3 years, led the league in scoring. Those guys leading their teams like crazy. Like top 5 in the league in scoring, all that stuff. It's about the young guys, the guys who just got put into the league and all that stuff. And I feel it's good for the game. It's good that they have these young guys to carry the game into the future, because I always find it weird. Don't you find it weird? Think about it, in 10 years, you may be rooting for a player you don't even know the name to yet. You don't even know this person exists. Mm-hmm. Like, think about it. Go back to when we were watching like the Celtics Big 3 and whatnot. Imagine you took a time machine and you see like 2K and you look at the rosters. Who the hell is Jason Tatum?
Jaylen Brown.
What the hell? I don't know any
Where's
of these.
Avery Bradley?
Oh, no. Avery Bradley was another player that could potentially make his return to Boston.
I mean, you don't have to change his number.
I mean, shoot, I don't think he would care.
Yeah, I mean, that's Jason.
I would like to have Avery Bradley back, but...
I mean, what team is he playing for? Lakers?
Rockets.
Oh.
But yeah, it's good to see that baseball is going to be in good hands. And yeah, Fernando Tatis Jr.
Monster.
He could potentially make a case to be the best player in baseball in a couple years. Again, not saying that Mike Trout's going to fall off a cliff, but it's more about Mike Trout. I feel he wants to be more the Kawhi Leonard of baseball, even though he's the clear-cut best player. That's what separates him from Kawhi, even though they're still relatively reserved.
Yeah, I don't want to hear anything about Kawhi as the best player in the league.
No, we got to dead that. Even though Kawhi is very good, we're not saying anything like. But Mike Trout, the difference, Mike Trout is the best player in baseball right now. No matter how you slice it, no matter. Mike Trout's number 1. And he's just because he's going to get older, I really don't mean too much. I'm saying that dude's still going to be really consistent and really good. But you're going to have Tatis is the face of baseball right now.
You said Mike Trout. I remember I asked who was the best player in baseball because I didn't know much.
Mike Trout.
And I was like, is he like GOAT status? Like, is he the
I told you if he wins it. I told you if he wins a championship, then yes. If he wins a World Series, then yes. Even right now, if he wins a World Series. Are
they playing good?
I mean, they're all right. I mean, they got.
Not good news.
But he's hurt.
Oh,
that's the thing. He's hurt. He's going to be out for like a month or something like that. But the thing with Mike Trout, that's what I feel. This is what I say when it comes to GOAT stats. Think about any of the greatest players of all time in any sport. They have championships to their name. Yeah, you can even say like people look at a guy like Barry Bonds and look at Ken Griffey Jr.'s of the world and whatnot. Those guys don't have rings, and it's not that.
It's a lot harder to win a ring in MLB.
Baseball's with basketball, you can have one player and be like, you will still be fine. If you have one really good player on that team, you guys ain't making the playoffs. Y'all might even struggle to even make it a wild card spot, anything like that. One player can't carry a whole load in most sports. Yeah. Like if you got an all-time great talent, he
needs help.
Like LeBron James can drag an NBA Finals team in his prime. LeBron James can drag a team to the NBA Finals kicking and screaming. 07 Cavs, even though he was still a young kid. But in baseball, you can put a prime Ken Griffey Jr. on any team, and he wouldn't. I want to say he would be playing out of his mind and might get his team a decent amount of wins. But again, there's so many different factors. Like in football, you only can determine. Say you're a wide receiver, you only can control what you can control, and that you can say that for any sport. But wide receiver, you're only as good, or not as good, but you only can do as much as how the QB plays and how your defense is. In baseball, you can be hitting home runs left and right. You can be making great plays and whatnot. But if your pitching sucks and the rest of your team sucks, you ain't doing nothing. Again, you can say that it's about the personnel around you, yes. So, but think about these young guys. Ronald Acuna Jr. plays in Atlanta. Atlanta's a good team, even though they were struggling to start the year. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Blue Jays, they were all right to start the year. He started turning up, and now they're good. And the Padres with Tatis is the number one player on that team at 22 years old, I believe. And the Padres are really good. That's why you put these young guys in situations to be great and be able to potentially win championships. You can start looking at these guys as potential GOAT statuses too. So that's what I get when it comes to if Mike Trout wins a World Series ring, he's the greatest player. He'd be potentially the greatest player of all time because he doesn't have any of that all that steroid talk following him. He plays the game the right way. He's never gotten caught up like LeBron. He hasn't been caught up with anything, and he's a common professional, and he does what he needs to do, and then like anything else that comes after it, it's like he's marketable, this, that, and the other, but he's very reserved. LeBron's more, he wants to have himself put out there and all that. Mike Trout just wants to play baseball. And I don't mind it because you got guys like Tatis and Mookie Betts that will take care of all the marketability for you, and hopefully it kind of shows to get baseball out there. And just to wrap it up, remember when I told you about marketing the players and whatnot? Tatis hit a home run in Houston, like it was an absolute bomb to left, and he sat there and watched it. You know, like not hands on his hips, but he had the bat, and he was just like, man, like some Bradley Beal type stuff. Yeah. Like, man, that got nearly 2 million views when I saw it, and it would drop like the night before. So that gives me hope that the game is going to start progressing a little bit better. They still have a lot of things they need to work on, but this is a good sign. So my little rant. So not even a rant, but a little tangent because I love talking about the game.
At least I know a little bit more about the game.
I like talking about it because I feel people can actually learn from like even me talking about it. Even if you don't really understand it or don't really care for it, at least like if I am able to teach somebody something and make it seem like, hey, that's interesting, you know. So it's fun talking about the game, and hopefully I can do it a whole lot more in the future. It's, you know, but hey, we got that. NBA playoffs are still going on. MLB's kicking, and yeah, the young guys. That's GOAT talk, young guys, and I don't know. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll talk to y'all next week. Love you guys. Stay safe.